So we have quite a few questions that people have asked about the training. A lot of it, the most recent questions are really about the training itself, when the trainings are, and what goes on. And I'd like to start out with one question that someone asked: does it really work?
Well, certainly in the trials that I've carried out, it appears to be, certainly for myself, about 95% successful. In all the clients that I see, yes, I still get that small percentage of clients where it doesn't seem to work for them, that maybe I have to dig a little bit deeper. And there's all sorts of reasons why, in some cases, it doesn't work for people. Simple stuff, like you ask somebody to listen to a supporting CD that you give them and they don't listen to it. And so they don't sort of meet you halfway.
Right.
And expect, I tend to call those sort of people, I suppose, magic wonders, that, they think that sometimes if you're successful with clients, you get somebody to lose a lot of weight, then, of course, in a way, they are good for bringing more clients to you through the word-of-mouth referral system. But some of those word-of-mouth ones will expect that it's a magic wand and they have to present no effort themselves whatsoever. Right. So I tend to think it's those people that fall into that small percentage. And also I'm a realist with this system, and anything else that I do is that not everything will work for everybody. But if you can get 70, 80, 90, 95% success with clients, then I think you can sort of think that you're doing a fairly good job.
Yeah, I think so.
System works.
I think you're doing a fabulous job.
So, and also, if the system didn't work, I wouldn't have as much interest as I have from medical practitioners. I mean, the sort of the big announcement sort of really that I've got to make is that finally, after 2 years of talking to the medical profession, of asking them to look at this system, I finally have clinical trials agreed in the UK that will start in October.
Yeah, that's great. And that's being done through a university and a medical school?
That's right. It's through Hull University and the Hull York Medical School. The investors who sort of provide the funding for the research are the pharmaceutical company and numerous other investors. So I'm hoping that the parameters of that clinical trial will be known soon, and then I can look at expanding things further. It's only going to be a small group of people to start with. If the results of that are favourable, they will then expand the trial with a view to the National Health Service looking at taking the system on board and making it available for more people.
This, that's really, this is something that I found really attracted me to your work also, because you originally started off by putting it to the test, and at that time I found very few people were willing to actually find out whether what they were doing worked or not. I don't know whether it was a fear of finding out that it wasn't working or not having the time, but just the idea, the notion of actually testing something and seeing, does it work or doesn't it work? I think that, and now you've been so, I have to tell you, Sheila is like she's like a machine. She just continues to work. I mean, the expression, if you're looking for looking to get something done, give it to a busy person. I mean, that's Sheila. She's constantly working, and she's, maybe that's why, at 12 o'clock at night, I'm not hearing the energy that I usually hear from her when I'm talking to her.
I have had a little sleep just before. I thought, just a half an hour.
Sheila also was up early in the morning. She was on a radio show for an hour. So
within the next 20 minutes or so, you should find that, I come back into my own again.
I hope so.
Hey, I'm going to break in here for a few seconds because we've gotten 100% positive feedback from every attendee that has taken our classes. Here's just a quick sampling from a couple of our own students at our last training.
On a scale of 1 to 10, it was a 10. It was an excellent course. It was well presented. The time frames for the subjects were right on the money, and I can't wait to get out and do it.
I'm very, very excited to add this new service for my clients, and I did let people know that I was coming down just a week before I came, and already I'm getting people inquiring about it and referrals for other types of services too. So it's been a great benefit already, and I know that many more great things to come. The information that I learned in the course was just absolutely terrific, and I would highly recommend it, beyond my expectations.
And so the question is, does it really work?
It certainly does.
Yeah.
For 95% of people. I sometimes get asked, well, does it deal with the underlying psychological reasons why somebody eats more than they should? And for some people, that this system will work because it does address emotional eating, boredom, stress. It does address certain issues. But if somebody has really serious underlying psychological reasons, this system is maybe not for those people. However, I don't believe that those people are the vast majority of the clients who actually come to see us.
Yeah, and I don't either. I used to think they were. I used to think that the vast majority of overweight people were intensely emotionally connected to food, and now from doing this program, I've found out that's not true.
No.
Because the people that I'm sorry, go ahead.
A lot of the people who come to see us are looking for help to change their habits. Mm-hmm. They've simply formed a set of habits, just like smoking or anything else that people come to see us with, where it's a habit-based thing. With eating, people form a habit. So just like smoking, it can be easily resolved and get somebody to form a habit in a new direction. So why should we have to dig around for what is the underlying cause of this, when maybe we can just get somebody to form a habit in a new direction? A nice, simple process.
Yeah, I think that we have not been giving our clients enough credit for having the ability to change when they're given simple instructions on how to make that change happen. Mm-hmm. And the hypnosis aspect of it actually assists them to change their attitudes and their perceptions. And sometimes it's just about giving them permission to be the person that they want to be.
Yeah. I mean, certainly that's what I find with clients. I keep things very simple. I don't overcomplicate things. I don't really want to go digging around for reasons. I don't want to, create huge amounts of emotion in clients and digging around in the past. I want things to be sort of as light-hearted as possible for me as much as for the client, to be honest with you. I've worked with programs where and done it with clients where we have gone down regression angles, and it's not particularly pleasant for me, and it's certainly not pleasant for the clients. So I tend to base all my therapy on positives. That we work on positives all of the time. Mm-hmm. There are no negatives.
Yeah, and I'm coming from a space where anybody who came in to see me for weight loss, we were going to root causes. And I found that that actually worked for some people and didn't work for others. And I got responses from people that some of them really weren't happy about having to revisit things that that made them feel uncomfortable. And now working with this program, seeing that none of that has to come up. So even the people that it worked with, they still it didn't make them feel good revisiting it, but they did feel as if a weight had lifted off their shoulders. You can get people to lose the weight and to feel really good the whole time, where they're coming in bouncing, smiling, happy, coming from a point where, you know, they might look really melancholy. They might look like, well, I'll give you an example. I had a woman just a couple of weeks ago started out with me, and she came in and she was talking about how horrible she felt her life was and how disappointed she was, and all the things that she was saying to me were all really good things. She had a family, she had a good job, she had kids that she loved, a husband that she loved. All of these things were all, I don't see anything wrong with it, but she was feeling unfulfilled. She felt really like, you know, none of this was good or pleasant for her. And in one session, she came back in and she started talking about how great her life is, saying the same things that seemed to be reasons why she didn't like her life.
Yeah.
And the beauty of it was, I didn't go through any of the emotional aspects. I just freed her up to be able to get in touch with quantity of food, giving her control over something she thought she had no control over. And I think that just that one little thing really helps to build people's self-esteem far more than we ever thought it did.
Yes, yeah. It's allowing them to focus on being the person that they want to be. And giving them permission to be that person.
I've thoroughly enjoyed the course. I would rate it as 100 out of 10. I think the presenter was fantastic. But of course she is an international speaker.